Hey, everybody, and welcome to this week's live episode of the DVC Show. I am your host, Paul Krieger, and I'm joined by the one, the only, my wife,
Hello.
Amy Krieger. How you doing?
Tired.
Well, thank you all for joining us tonight for a special. I know it's a little bit rare. I know you need to get back to your Bridgerton, but you're here with us.
No, everybody has watched that but us.
That is true.
It was only 4 episodes.
We were away all weekend, so we did not get to watch Bridgerton this weekend. But we are 2 episodes in, 3 episodes in, two of the 4.
Yeah,
I have no idea. Halfway through season 3.
Yes.
I don't know. Something like that. Yes,
He acts like he doesn't know, but he is the one who started watching it to begin with.
Maybe. Who knows? But yeah, we decided why not do a special live edition of the DVC show tonight. You just get the 2 of us. I gave the rest of the team the week off. Actually, I lied. We're actually all joining them on Wednesday to film regular episodes of the show. But between travel and it's the summer season, vacations, and craziness going on, I think Jeff went to Utah. Derek went to Boulder Ridge for 2 days. So everyone's been up to something. And so we decided to do a little bit of a different episode this week. We'll discuss a little bit of the news going on in the Disney Vacation Club space, and then also answer all of your burning Disney Vacation Club questions, or if you have questions about, what do you think of the Bridgerton season this?
Okay, not related to that, but I keep seeing people talking about Epcot today and just how busy it is, and I'm just so baffled with crowd levels right now because we went to Magic Kingdom yesterday. Yesterday?
Yeah,
it was just yesterday.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like it's been days, but it was yesterday for the Tiana Bayou Adventure annual pass preview, which we got very lucky. I think today was yesterday, not today. Yesterday was the smoothest day it ever had.
Yeah.
Because today it didn't even start until after 10 at least. So anyway, we rode Tron and Tiana before 10:30. So that's pretty impressive. But Magic Kingdom, a Sunday. So we're talking a weekend in the summer. I could not believe how empty it was. The park opened at 9.
The park opened at 9. We almost rope dropped it. We were about 5 minutes late.
Yeah, we were just late. We were the only ones on our bus from Wilderness Lodge.
Yep.
The only people on the bus. There was no line of security. There was no line to get in, to tap in. There was so much space in the park, and the wait times are really low. And then the next day on a Monday, which you think a Monday would be way busier.
Yeah.
Epcot looks like
Bonkers.
a zoo today.
It was a zoo. Today's the first day without Test Track. I'm guessing something had to be going on because at one point, half of the park looked like it was shut down. Our friends Jeff and Dan were there. They were waiting for the Encanto show. It got canceled last minute. The
Land
Pavilion was completely offline at that point.
Spaceship
in time.
Earth is still down, I think.
Spaceship Earth was down.
Like some kind of electrical
60-minute wait for Figment. 60 minutes.
Would
you wait 60 minutes?
I would wait 5 minutes.
No offense to the Figment lovers out there. I know he's a wonderful purple dinosaur, but I don't know. I don't think I'd wait 60 minutes for that ride. There must have.
So Jeff said rumor was a power outage, which makes sense because of it being like a whole entire half of the park. But you would think that a Monday at Epcot with no festival, like if I was a betting person and I was trying to pick when to go to the park, that it would be the least busy. Magic Kingdom on a Sunday in June and Monday at an Epcot with no festival, I would have lost. I would have guessed Epcot. So it's just you never know what's going to happen.
I'm sorry. Figment is a dragon, not a dinosaur. I've never been too much into Figment. I'm sorry. I'm more into the lovable Wally.
Who doesn't have enough of a presence yet.
At all. No. And they keep getting rid of him. Anyhow, thanks for joining us. If you have questions about Disney Vacation Club, if you have random questions for us, ask them in the comments. We'll get to as many as possible. But we will get to some other comments before that because we did promise our Patreon subscribers, patreon.com/DVCfan, we did ask them to ask all of their burning questions, and we are going to answer every single one of them tonight. So we will discuss those a little bit later in the show. Before we get into it, though, as always, if you do love this content that we produce here on DVC Fan, it is brought to you by the World of DVC. I try to do the little finger thing with
It's okay.
the bird, but I've never actually done it. I feel like I need to be on the other side of that for once. DVC Resale Market. If you're looking to buy or sell a Disney Vacation Club contract, they can assist. Monera Financial, who can help with financing that DVC Resale Market purchase, or the DVC Rental Store, where you can try before you buy, rent some Disney Vacation Club points, or rent out your own points. Just to put a plug in for DVC Rental Store real quick. DVC Rental Store is currently doing select reservations, confirmed reservations. So these are reservations that are booked by Disney Vacation Club members already. They are already secured. If you actually purchase one of these special deal buy it now reservations, you will get 5% off of your next reservation with the DVC Rental Store. So head to dvcrentalstore.com. You can't miss it. It's like on the menu bar or something like that. If you are looking to do a last minute trip to Disney World this summer and you need some rooms to stay in. I didn't know where I was going with that for a second, but before we answer your questions, or if Amy sees any, she might point them out as we go along here.
I did find one real quick.
Oh, okay. Tell me where to go.
Josh Ware asked what was on my shirt.
Josh Ware.
It is.
What is on Amy's shirt?
It is my Galgo Sage, Save a Galgo Espanol.
Yes.
They are the rescue group that transported Hermes to. I know there's not really a good place to. They did the transport for Hermes.
There. I feel like I've got to like. Okay.
Oh, that's Emerson.
Emerson is all just
there, and then Cinders is over there. They all have to be in here, and you're probably making people nauseous.
Yeah.
Oh wait, let me see. There's Cinders. And Hermes is over there.
This is what you get on a live stream with Paul and Amy on a Monday night after a work day.
Hermes is behind you.
Hermes is behind me. Yes, they are always.
Anyway,
in there, so.
that's the organization that transported Hermes to the United States from Malaga, Spain. And then we've said this before on a different show, but we are going to Spain in September and we're flying into Madrid. We're actually doing a cruise out of Barcelona. But one of the things we've been wanting to do for several years is we are going to work with Greyhounds in Motion, who adopted our newest boys, Emerson and Cinders, to us, and they helped transport them from Barcelona from SOS Galgos in Spain. So we are going to work with them to be flight guardians or flight patrons, and we're going to help take Galgos from Spain to find their forever homes in the United States. So
yeah, super excited to do that. They just brought in a group of dogs like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think they brought 12 to 15 dogs.
They brought 15. Yeah.
So we thought like maybe we'll bring like 3 to 5, but apparently it can be up to 15. So stay tuned to know how many dogs we bring back. No, they won't be for us.
No.
But before we get into all of your questions tonight, did want to hit on some of just the most recent news. This will kind of be like our June news update as well, because there's not been a whole lot of news going on in the Disney Vacation Club space, except June kind of kicked off with a bang when it came to the Polynesian details that were all dropped, which I know we did put up a special video on the channel just kind of talking about some recent construction. Amy did a video kind of talking through all of the details related to the Polynesian news that came out a couple weeks ago. But we do have an opening date for the new island tower at Disney's Polynesian Villas and Bungalows. That is December 17th. And we got all of the room details for the Polynesian. Anything surprising or that kind of caught your eye with all that?
Not really. We knew that the cost per night for cash was going to be
bonkers
steep. But it was steeper than the Disneyland hotel, which I thought it would be a little closer. I mean, they were close, but it was a couple $100 more for a studio.
Yeah, I think the deluxe studio for opening weekend at the Disneyland hotel was around $900 a night.
And this was like
$1,200 for a studio.
Yeah. Very, very expensive.
Or if you wanted that 2-bedroom penthouse villa, that was $5,500 for opening night.
Yeah.
So,
buddy, yeah, that was a lot.
We did not go with that one, in case you were wondering. We did secure a deluxe studio, a 1-bedroom, and a duo studio for the opening week. So we are excited to kind of cover that, and more details coming on this, but we have been talking about doing some sort of like DVC fan meetup associated with the grand opening of Island Tower. So it might be just like meet up on the beach and watch some fireworks some night. we don't really have it nailed down just yet, but when we do, we will definitely share all of those details with you.
Yeah, for sure. And something new that we have never seen before is there is a small dishwasher in the studios.
Mhm.
And a lot of people are saying, that's kind of weird. Why would they even do that? So it's actually, from everything I've seen, it's part of their initiative, their like green initiative, because instead of giving you paper products, which they have been doing in most studios, some studios still get regular dishes like Riviera does, but most of the studios get paper products. I think this is their way of giving you regular dishes and saying, here, you can wash them in the dishwasher. I mean, that's my assumption.
Yeah, the general idea is basically just their eco-friendly initiatives. I think it's but also like those of us that used to enjoy having like a China mug to enjoy our coffee with in a studio or something like that. I'm glad that they're at least going to hopefully bring all of that back.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to give you paper products in a dishwasher.
You never know.
So.
You never know. It's Disney. But so we can't wait for that event. And speaking of grand openings, though, there's one in 2 weeks from now. When I looked that up earlier today, I was like, what happened to June?
Yes.
And where did the past few months go?
And everyone thinking about Polly. I keep forgetting that. I keep asking you, what is on the calendar in July?
Why do we have a dog sitter on July 1st?
I've asked it like 4 times. I feel so stupid. Yeah. But I don't know why I keep forgetting about it.
The grand opening of the cabins at Disney's Fort Wilderness is coming up on July 1st. We are in what I would describe as an old and busted cabin on July 1st, but we do have many of you in the community that reached out to us who are willing to kind of let us see one of the cabins on opening night. So we're definitely going to do that. And then the second night, which I believe is a Tuesday, we will then be staying in one of the new Disney Vacation Club cabins that night. And we plan to do a live stream, internet willing. We will be doing a live stream that Tuesday night from the cabin, similar to what we did with the Disneyland Hotel during the grand opening, and share with you all of our thoughts and kind of unpack every little nook and cranny of that place.
Yeah.
Are you top bunk that night or bottom bunk?
That configuration is weird, but I am excited to see them, and we've never stayed at Fort Wilderness.
No, we're gonna explore the resort real good, check out everything. You want to do the archery?
I do, the archery experience. Yeah.
So they do have kind of all kinds of fun stuff going on over there. We'll check out some of the food. So July 1st through 3rd, just expect 400 videos to come out from us on all of that content, maybe like 4. But yeah, so we are excited with that. It is like, I was thinking about this the other day. I don't remember a year where there's been this much like go Disney Vacation Club stuff.
Yeah. We've never had 2 resort openings. Technically, I guess it's 3 within like a year and a half.
Yeah.
So that's all, because you've got Disneyland, September, Fort Wilderness, and then Polly in December. So within a year and a half, 3 new resort openings. That's huge.
So yeah, those have kind of been the big news pieces coming out, but there's been some smaller little things that have also happened in the past few weeks. At the end of last week, we did finally confirm for sure that there is a new Disney Vacation Club lounge coming to the Magic Kingdom. It will replace the Frontierland Shootin' Arcade, which will close this coming Sunday, June 23rd. That'll be its last day of operation. How busy
is it in the wake of closure? We were just walking by there and I didn't even pay attention.
I still didn't feel like it was that crazy busy. I know there's a lot of people that are kind of like on the fence, like I'm sad that it's leaving. It was around
nostalgia. Yeah. It's an opening day attraction technically. I mean, and this is where we didn't grow up. You went to Disney when you were a kid.
Yeah, 5.
I didn't grow up going to Disney, so I don't have a lot of that nostalgia. My Disney nostalgia is, Illuminations, because that was one of my first shows, and those sorts of things, but and not the old Illuminations, the Reflections of Earth one, right? Because there was one before that. So to me, I don't have any nostalgia. I've never really even glanced at it very often. But I get it. If it was their opening day, if you used to go and do it with your kids.
I've talked to a couple of people that know that area of the park pretty well, and one of the big things that they keep saying is, I'm surprised by the location because of how small it is. And it'll be interesting to kind of see how they close that area off and turn it into a lounge, because the square footage there is not that big. There's not much room, I guess, backstage or behind it to kind of expand what's going on
when
there.
you really get down to it, I don't feel like the Epcot lounge has a whole lot of
I agree.
space. It looks big because it's just, it's like kind of around this circle and they've got this big desk. But when you really break down the seating space, you know what I mean? It's not that big.
The lounge currently at Epcot is actually going under a refurbishment at the moment as well. It will reopen, I believe, on the 14th. July 14th is when it reopens.
During the DVC.
But the community has been up in arms about the temporary lounge at the Odyssey Pavilion. It has people are not happy with it one bit.
I know they almost would have just been better just to keep it closed. Maybe.
I mean, they should have just closed it because people.
It's nice that they opened something temporary and they're still offering some free drinks and a place to sit in the air conditioning, and at least the bathrooms are on the same level there.
Yeah, better than nothing.
But I get it. Like they didn't really put enough chairs and there were people sitting on the floor. But
there's more chairs in that area for a festival than there are. For the
I know. Yeah, why didn't they
currently.
just leave all the festival chairs in there?
I don't know. Yeah.
Anyway.
Weird decision, but the lounge will be reopened soon, and we have no idea what they're doing to it, whether or not they're kind of refurbishing it.
But then
Someone
just
said
refurbish it?
They did, yeah. And so it's kind of relatively new. I heard someone say in some forum that maybe it was elevator work that needed to be done. A lot of people
are open to nothing.
A lot of people are hoping that maybe the bathrooms will magically appear upstairs.
I don't think that's
going to happen. But so your guess is as good as mine. But we will be there that weekend to kind of check things out. So that'll be fun. And the most recent thing, which I know some of you have already mentioned in the comments, and there was at least one comment over on Patreon about this. Where was it? I don't remember. Melissa over in our DVC fan Patreon community, the latest DVC post on Instagram about limited time experiences coming this summer for members. What are your predictions? So we did actually just put an article up about this early this morning on DVC fan. So we know very, very little about this. So Disney Vacation Club has made 2 teaser posts so far the past 2 days about some sort of special summer events. And they have put these lovely clouds over the words of whatever it's called. What we are guessing at the moment is that they are called Welcome Home Weeks. Although I joked.
Wait, what was the letters? You can only see like C and K, right?
You could see the K and the S on the first one, and then what we assume is a W. So we've got a W, a K. If anyone plays Wordle, maybe they should have made it a Wordle. That would have been funny. But yeah, so Welcome Home Weeks. I feel like it's a little late though to be planning like a lot of like. Big weeks this summer,
I was driving home yesterday and you were sitting in the passenger seat and looking at it really intently. And I remember you were like, well, I see them eating some kind of, was it ice cream or something in the photo?
So yeah, the article that I put on DVC fan, I said, Mickey and Minnie in the photo look like they've got like some delicious like drinks or ice cream or something that they're, and so I was like, welcome home snacks. Cause we just had the K and the S at that point. So I was like, that could be cool. Like everyone gets a Dole Whip or everyone gets something. Or then I just went off the deep end in my post and basically said, what if they partnered with Salt and Straw and we got special Disney Vacation Club flavors of ice cream at Salt and Straw at Disney Springs this summer?
Are they free or are they just selling
special
flavors?
You'll pay money for it. Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't do anything for me at all.
You never know, but we'll see what happens. I assume based off of how they're building this up that tomorrow or Wednesday we will know what this is, and you can read all about it on DVC fan, and you can expect us to try to check it out and see what's going on. But similar to other special events, I'm assuming a snack, a character meet and greet.
Yeah, I'm thinking along the lines of something on the same level as the meet and treats.
Yep.
And did they do a Valentine one?
They did, yep.
So those types of levels where maybe you're notified a little bit late. It's made for people who are already staying there. those sorts of small little things throughout.
They've gotten a lot of like feedback over the years that, not everyone can plan their vacation around a Moonlight Magic date. And so they've gradually been peppering these kind of membership magic events in. And I think they're great in that maybe that's part of the plan is schedule these last minute so that they're kind of a surprise for, you've got your vacation planned and, oh, wow, I'm actually going to be able to make it to this or that event. But if that's the case, I do hope that they make sure that they open them up to people with room reservations first, people that are staying there first, so that they can get to enjoy it, because there's a lot of people that still have not been able to experience like a Moonlight Magic or any of those type of events. So
yeah,
that'll be awesome. Speaking of events, nice segue. We do have our DVC Fan Summerfest weekend number 2 coming up on July 13th. Saturday, July 13th, we will be at Saratoga Springs Resort and Spa. We are staying in a treehouse villa that night. We have never explored a treehouse villa, so we're excited. And we will be doing a live episode of the DVC show from our treehouse villa. No, you cannot come watch the show. We do not have enough room for people to come and watch it. You can watch it here on YouTube. But we've got the whole band together this time around. Derek is back in town. Panda doesn't have a Golden Girls event to go to. So we are all going to be there and talking everything Disney Vacation Club and doing another live stream like this. Again, internet willing, from Saratoga that afternoon. I think we said we were going to do the live stream at 3 p.m. that day, because then at 6 p.m. we're going to do kind of a snack and drink crawl around Disney Springs that will then end probably right around the Congress Park area of the Saratoga Springs Resort. So that we can then watch Disney Dreams That Soar. Is that what it's called? Did I say it right? Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
The drone show, the new drone show, which we finally got to see this past weekend.
Yeah. We stayed at JW Marriott, so not DVC, but we had a Marriott night, like free night, because we have Marriott Bonvoy card that we had to use or it was going to expire next month. So we decided for our 11th wedding anniversary, which on Saturday, that we would do the JW Marriott and try that out. And we had a Disney Springs view. We couldn't hear, obviously, the music, but we could see all the drones perfectly. It was really cool. Yeah. And we did the Sangria University at Coronado Springs, and that was really cool. And then we went to Kappa, which is the steakhouse at the top of the Four Seasons. It is the first restaurant at Disney. It is technically on Disney property because the Four Seasons on Disney property.
On Disney property.
So it's the first
not
restaurant
owned by Disney.
Yeah, it's the first restaurant on Disney property to receive a Michelin star, and it's actually gotten one 3 years in a row. Victoria and Albert's just got theirs this year. They also have one Michelin star. Mm-hmm. I feel like, did we take some photos and stuff? We decided we weren't going to film. We were just going to enjoy our dinner.
Yeah, we'll put articles up for both Sangria University and Kappa probably eventually over on DVC Fan, just kind of giving you an overview. It was our anniversary, so we were kind of celebrating and not fully in content mode.
Yeah,
but spoiler, we weren't impressed with...
I did not. It is not what I expected.
We weren't impressed with Kappa. Sangria University, book it now. Just book it now.
It was fun.
I hope that Gray is there that day.
He was really awesome.
Teach your class, because Gray was amazing. Big shout out to him. Yeah. He was awesome.
But Kappa was not what we were expecting at all.
No, the tapas were good. The small plates that they had. So we did a tuna and we did the bacon wrapped dates.
Yeah, and the tomato bread.
Those
were all actually very excellent.
But
then it was downhill from there.
Yeah, it just was downhill. Those came out probably like 5 minutes after we had ordered, and then we sat for probably a good 45 minutes.
Oh yeah, I felt like it was at least an hour.
Yeah, and
between
you got basically kind of their paella with shrimp, which was an upcharge for the shrimp. And it was 2 giant shrimp that had been cooked for 4 days, basically, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the steak was not very good.
The steak was not good.
I guess I don't know what I was expecting out of the atmosphere. It was loud. It was messy. It was more casual than I thought from a Michelin star. But I guess, every restaurant has a different vibe. I don't know. Just if you've eaten at Kappa and you had a good experience, let us know. or let us know what your experience was. We were surprised.
And again, I feel myself giving this like little disclaimer with every restaurant review we do anymore,
Yeah.
or any kind of comment we make. But you don't know. Like, could have got a bad cut of meat. Could have had some bad shrimp. I have no idea. Could have been a bad night for the kitchen.
Well, yeah, and I think I said this when we were sitting there. It's you hold things up on a pedestal sometimes. Perfection does not exist in the real world, and perfection does not exist at any restaurant. Even when we went to Victoria and Albert's, which was amazing. We haven't been there since 2019, but it was such an amazing experience, service-wise and atmosphere-wise. And the food was very good, but there was probably 2 dishes I didn't even really like very much. So, nothing is going to be absolutely perfect all the time.
Yeah, and if you do research on Michelin too, you realize that it's basically a pay-to-play system. Mm-hmm. So, the state of Florida paid for Michelin to come and do their reviews. It's not, I don't know, it's not the greatest kind of program. So it sounds more grand than it actually is.
I told him we should start our own Creaker Stars.
Creaker Stars.
I mean, it's just a car, isn't it? Michelin tires.
It is. It was named after the tire brand. Yeah. So I don't know the whole history of it all. All right. I successfully did it. I got through all of our news in under a half hour, which leaves us plenty of time to get to
and we missed
all of the questions.
We missed so many comments.
We missed a lot of comments. So if you do have questions, go ahead and continue to put them in the comments. But we are going to get around to some of our Patreon questions and comments first. We had Johnny, Poly predictions, price per point, incentive if any, welcome home offer, point chart, direct sale date,
that was a
Poly Tower food and beverage predictions. Wow, that's a lot.
Okay, my first thing I'm going to say is if they do not do, I'm going to go to food and beverage. If there is not some kind of really good ahi poke bowl at that new restaurant, I'm going to be very disappointed. Because where at that Polynesian, do they have any ahi poke bowls? I mean, they kind of do. I think they have one sort of at Kona now.
Yeah.
But I want one like quick service that I can get really easily.
The Kona one's kind of like fancier. Or
yeah, I don't think I'd love it.
I will take that a step further, and I would like some Hawaiian shaved ice.
Oh, yeah.
That would be cool. Similar to like the
one at
stand at
Alani that's shaped like Mickey, and they put the sweetened condensed milk on it.
That would be good.
The cream or whatever it is.
In terms of price per point, I think we've kind of said this. We kind of feel that $250 is kind of the range that they're setting themselves up for. So
yeah, I feel like hopefully it's more like $239.
Maybe. Yeah. I feel like they won't find an opportunity not to raise prices further. It's just Disney. So but $239, I think,
there is a lot of hype for this.
$239 is where Disneyland Hotel is at.
Oh, that's where it's at right now.
Yeah.
$239. Okay, maybe $249. That's my final.
So $1 less than
$249. Yeah, you have to make it appeal more.
Okay.
By knocking the dollar off.
Got to get the 9 on there. But yeah, so kind of there will obviously be some incentives, but as you just said, the property is so hot. Do not expect.
If you ask Derek, he has been preaching. I don't think there's going to be any incentives. He doesn't think so. He said when Grand Floridian first went on sale, there was 0 incentives. So we'll see. There could be, or they might wait and just put it out and see what happens. And it's hard to tell. Or they price it high enough that the incentives just bring it back to where we thought it would be anyway. So
no clue on that. In terms of when we'll see point information, I imagine that hopefully we see it within the next month or two. It's really, it's dependent. I think they are kind of gauging things at the moment based off of how cash sales are doing. Because a lot of people are kind of frustrated about this. They're like, why can't we book yet? Why are people being able to book cash sales right now? Why can't I use my points yet? Technically speaking, Disney has not declared the new tower into the condo association. They have said that it will be a Disney Vacation Club property, but essentially similar to what they're doing with Riviera. Riviera is not fully declared into its condo association currently. It's about, I want to say like 70% declared or something around there. But what they do is they gradually declare certain lumps of rooms, which equate to a certain lump of points, which equal a percentage of the resort. And then they can start selling those points for direct sales. And so that will be, when we see those declarations, we know that they are getting ready to do that. But technically speaking, they could open this tower in December and it could be technically cash.
I don't think
they
we'll see that.
but I imagine that they are waiting long enough so that technically they only need to declare like 10% of the resort or something extremely small within that time frame, so that they can get as much cash as possible out of this resort up front. So we'll kind of wait and see what happens there, but that's kind of our predictions is probably within the next 2 months or so. Really good date to always pay attention to as well is October 1st. That is the beginning of Disney's fiscal year. So they may do something a little bit in Q4 for them, which would be like July, August, September, or they may wait to really get a nice bump at the beginning of the year. So one of those two things are going to occur. So, and I think that kind of answered everything. Welcome home offer. Again, I don't know that they will offer an incentive of some sort. I just don't know that it's going to be too magical, just because they know that this thing is going to sell like hotcakes. So Johnny also asked if you could change anything about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, what would it be and why?
That it doesn't start in August. Because we always feel like we want to go and not miss out on one of the first ones. Plus, those are the cheaper ones.
Yep.
And August is not Halloween costume friendly at all.
No.
That's my only qualm.
And we do. Someone posted a picture not too long ago of Roxanne and Max from a Goofy movie. And I have found a Max like hairpiece and nose if we wanted to do that. And you said you already had the clothes.
mean, I literally have an outfit that looks just like that in my wardrobe.
Maybe that'll be our Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. In terms of what else would I change, I would maybe do some other snack other than candy. I know the trick-or-treating is fun, but it would be cool to have like a couple other snack stations.
Yeah, we end up giving it away or throwing away most of that candy. I feel bad. We have good intentions when we get it, but the cookies from the Christmas party, those never go to waste.
Yes, the Cheryl's cookies, the unbranded Cheryl's cookies that they have from the Christmas party. So Melissa over in our Patreon community said the latest DVC post on Insta. I already answered that question. Yep, for the new summer events coming. So we answered that one. Uncle Joe said, "Hey, DVC fan friends, any rumors about a fifth park? I would like something built on the Saratoga Springs Resort golf course land." I don't think that's going to happen, Uncle Joe. I think there's too many golfers, and they probably make some money off of that. I'm not one to believe that we will see a fifth park anytime within the next 10 years.
Really?
I think Disney's at a point where they do need to invest in the current parks that they have more. They really do have expansion opportunities at some of those parks, but I can't see them spending the money on a fifth gate at this point. It just doesn't. I don't think it meets
they got the approval that it's possible, but yeah, like what is possible and what is reality are two different things. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not in the same boat. I think within 10 years we'll at least know of
that
plans.
One's coming, or okay.
I don't know. I mean, I guess if you go by how long it took to build
by the
some other
time
things.
our retirement party happens, we'll
be getting ready to go into the fifth park.
The fifth gate. Okay, so that's down the road a little ways. There you go, Uncle Joe. Jody Lynn said, "Hope you had a great anniversary." We did, thank you. DVC resale prices have been low for quite a while now. Is this a typical ebb and flow, or do you think prices are staying low for other reasons? People waiting on the Poly or Disney pricing some folks out, etc.
I think the biggest reason that prices are lower currently is Disney's lack of exercising right of first refusal, and that is from, it's kind of like they overdid it the year before they stopped, and they were just buying up so much, and I think that I don't know what happened, but that definitely plays into the market a lot. And we probably do have people waiting for the Poly Tower. And, I'm going to be honest with you, it is an election year, and there's just always some uncertainty during election years. So that will keep some people from buying. And I know it was cold earlier, but now it's getting warmer in here.
The sun sets on my office.
That is
so if we
true.
look like we're sweating, it's probably because we are, because it gets hotter in this part of the house in the evenings. So I agree with everything you said. I think Disney intervening in ROFR is really what really controls the market. We just saw that play out with the Polynesian. We saw them interject into the Polynesian to raise the Polynesian resale prices, which was probably strategic so that they could have more of a leg to stand on.
It worked.
And it worked.
It went up.
The pricing went up to over $200 a point, basically, for certain contracts. I think it's starting to simmer back down now. But, it absolutely worked. People react to Disney using that lever. I said it. Yep. To kind of play with the market. So I think as long as we see them not react to certain properties, then we continue to see prices kind of dwindle off. I will not say that prices have continued to decline. I would say that probably prices over the past 3-4 months, they're just like flatline. They just people don't know what to do. So there's not been a huge ebb and flow.
We're actually seeing small increases, small. So whether it's just like, up and down or we're on an upward trend or not, remains to be seen. But
so we'll continue to monitor that. I do publish both the ROFR report and the average price blog for DVC resale market at the beginning of every month. So I'll share my thoughts there on what might be happening. So head to dvcresalemarket.com. We also cross post that to DVC Fans website as well, if you want some more deep dives into kind of all of that information. I think I got all of our DVC Fan Patreon community questions that came in, but while I was reading those, and I apologize because my live stream has stopped showing me any comments.
Yeah, I don't know why.
But the other...
So we can't put them up on the screen.
So I can't put them up on the screen, but we did have, I think, Samuel... well, now I'm clicking on things and really messing things up. What did I do?
Technology.
You'd think that I don't have to change screens or anything tonight, so I would be better with technology. No, I'm worse. Samuel Valdada gave us a $10 super chat and said, "Hello, Amy and Paul. Just wanted to thank you because me and my husband own a Saratoga Springs contract. I change my husband's mind when I show him your videos." So, Samuel, thank you so much for that super chat. We greatly appreciate it. And, congratulations on your Saratoga Springs contract. So
yeah, hopefully they'll bring more drone shows and you can watch them.
Why is that only running for like 4 or 5 months?
During hurricane season.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There was a TikTok.
It has been canceled a couple times because of wind too.
There was a TikTok or a reel that I recently saw that I thought was absolutely hilarious, which like zoomed in on one of the things from the drone show, and you watched this one drone just go bloop.
It fell into the water.
Right into the water. And I was like,
we did see
that
one
was amazing.
From our hotel room.
Oh, it was doing its own
Saturday.
show. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was the wrong color. It was going the wrong way.
Yeah,
it was kind of funny.
If technology had a brain, it was just having the time of its life. It was just doing its thing and living it up. So
for some reason, Jackie Schreiner put cookies in the chat. I have no idea what that's about, but that is my mom.
No.
She tried to call me and I told her we were busy.
We're a little busy, maybe. But yeah, so let's go through some questions here. Again, if we missed your question from earlier, just put it in the chat again because that'll make it a little bit easier for me. I'm just going to scroll up a little waves here and just kind of start diving into these things. And we'll answer some questions for a while because that's essentially what we came here to do tonight, is just answer your burning Disney Vacation Club questions. So I'm going to start here with Nathan. I'm always looking for a room type inventory, but resort and can't find any that include Riviera and beyond. Could you guys get that and post it?
Yeah. So I really want to. It would be a lot of work, a lot of work. So when we have time, so there is one that exists.
Yes.
It was not made by us. And unfortunately it's, if you Google, I can't remember what the site is, but if you Google DVC inventory, it'll come up. Unfortunately, it is outdated. It does not include anything Riviera and passed. The guy who built that website unfortunately passed away. So it's not been updated since. But it does have accurate numbers if from anything before like 2019. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you the documentation that's filed with every single resort does have this data. So, and I do have a file that I've started like putting
We
all
need
of
to
that into.
compile
So
it.
it's just
Yeah.
taking the time to compile all of that into kind of a document of some sort for each resort. But it is something that's kind of on our plans and on the horizon. So definitely something to think about. Cameron Coopin also with a $10 super chat, sending love from Spud Country.
Is that Idaho?
That is
my guess, right?
sure. What do you think the new membership magic tease from DVC is? Cameron, rewind about 15 minutes, but no, you gave us $10, so I'm going to tell you all about it again.
We're hoping it's snacks.
We're motivated by food here in the Krieger house. We hope it's snacks of some sort, but based off of the second post today, it looked like Welcome Home Weeks was kind of what it was alluding to, but so maybe just some special activities that are surrounding member opportunities. I think it's too late to kind of plan a bigger event. You know, even for us planning DVC Fans Summerfest this year, like that was very late planning. Again, they are test balloons, although we are talking about some bigger events next year.
We think it's going to be something along the size of the Halloween meet and treat,
exactly,
the Valentine little event where you basically, it's pretty easy for them to set up a character meet and greet and give you a small, you know, snack. Which is basically what those were. And so we think we might see a little more of those types of things, but it might be something new. You never know.
I think Disney Vacation Club is learning that they need to bring back some more of these member perks, and especially in a time in which they are struggling sales-wise. They kind of, you know, if you go back to when it was first on sale, free annual passes, like that was a huge benefit. And now you see them giving free check-in day water park access for all of 2025. That's not just Disney Vacation Club. You know, that's anyone booking a cash stay as well. That's significant. That's a significant motivator that either says one of two things. I think it's number one, that the water parks are struggling, but number two, it also kind of alleviates people waiting around, you know, hashtag soggy in the lobby. But waiting around for their room, you know, there's a lot of reasons why.
So something else is that DVC actually kind of lost a perk. They didn't really lose it. We still have it, but it's no longer a DVC perk. And that is the free parking at resorts, because they now made that everyone. Free for anybody who's staying at the resorts. So that was kind of a little selling point for DVC. Oh, because, you know, parking was for deluxe resorts. It was what, 30 something a night?
I don't know. So here's the thing. I don't know that we've ever paid for parking.
I think we got charged at our animation. Yeah.
Did we do it?
But it's cheaper at the
It is cheaper, but we stayed at the JW, as we said earlier, this past weekend, and we were charged like $40 for standard parking. So that's not even valet. And then a $50 resort fee on top of that.
Yeah, so that free hotel night is not
free.
Exactly
free.
Not
exactly free at the end of it.
Yeah, so that I mean, while it is a great park, it's no longer a DVC park. So
yeah, I think maybe they're identifying that they need to bring back some perks to really encourage members to not only maybe buy, but add on or any of those type of things. So it'll be interesting to kind of see where that goes. Joseph, where do you hear about Oogie Boogie Bash tickets?
Sore subject. We tried and failed last year.
They're
so hard to get.
Well, last year though was
kind of
the whole Disneyland's website went down. They fully rescheduled it because they had so many technical issues with it. It was absolute craziness.
True.
So you know, who knows? Let's see. What kind of DVC merch would you like to see that you haven't seen yet?
Well, now that we live in Florida and it's easier to get things home, I want more. I've been really loving a lot of the Disney home stuff. So we've got like the home pillow, the really nice bowl that we keep on our kitchen island. I want to see more resort focused home items, if that makes sense.
It does. And I'll just say whatever you want. Yes.
I don't know what they are yet. Okay, well, here's one. A replica, it doesn't have to be like the huge ones, but a replica of basically the mats, the big welcome mats when you come in the door, you know, the Jumbo House one.
So the people think that they're entering Animal Kingdom Live when they come in.
What's wrong with that? Yeah. That would be cool.
They do have those on Etsy, I think.
More art.
That's my big one. Is
like the stuff that's around the resort that you could buy.
Yeah, we've said that before. Riviera, hit it out of the park with that. Disneyland Hotel, they're doing the same thing. A lot of the newer resorts, they're basically making an art collection that is focused around the theme of the resort, and then they are selling that as art on demand. And why they have not gone back to the other properties, maybe it's because they don't have the rights. Like maybe as they are now building and licensing artists for these new resorts, they kind of create a contract that says we will sell your art in perpetuity or something. That could be the problem with some of the older resorts. But like I was just talking to Jeff and Dan, we're staying at Copper Creek last night, and there's amazing artwork all throughout Copper Creek. So yeah, I would go with art for that one.
The tiki birds that hang at the Polynesian studios. I've always loved them.
Yeah.
And they are bolted to the walls in case you've ever been curious.
Let's see. Oh, I do want to, do you want to talk about the jumping use years thing real quick that we talked about on last week's show at all?
Oh, I do. Yeah.
You talk about that.
I was wondering what you're talking about.
Sorry.
So on last week's show, what was last week's show? The DVC rules that you didn't know about?
DVC rules that you didn't know about.
So I do want to clarify something. When we talked about you can't book across use years. For example, our use year is February. If we had a trip that was January 30th through February 2nd, we would have to book the dates in January with a different use year than the dates in February, since our use year starts on February. You cannot do that online yourself, or at least you shouldn't be able to. It doesn't work. But member services can do it for you. So if you ever need to book something that crosses use years, you can just call member services and they can assist you. If you don't want to wait until they open at 9 and it's kind of a 11-month situation, although I guess it doesn't matter as much. No, actually that doesn't matter because then you would have to wait for both sets to open, you know what I mean, to book. Yeah. So you're better off just calling member services and getting the whole stay booked at once, crossing the use years.
Yeah.
There's a member service rep that it's so funny because when you think about the member services, I'm sure they have a lot of cast members, decent amount. So to get the same one multiple times, to me, it seems like very, I don't know, serendipity. But I've talked to the same one multiple times, and he watches the show, and so hello.
I was chatting last night. We were updating a reservation last week, and it was like, "Oh, you're Amy Krieger's other half," and I was like, "Yes," and he's like, "I've chatted with her multiple times."
Yeah,
and then
very nice.
We got through like all of our changes that we needed to make and everything, and at the end, he goes, "Hey, just an update about crossing use years. We can do that if you call." He actually said that they had tried it digitally at one point, and it had screwed up so many times, or people were clicking on the wrong sets of points so many times that they actually took it away.
Okay.
So
so there you go.
That's why you can't. That's why you can't do it online, but you can do it by calling.
You can call and do that.
I will just use this as an opportunity to point out Hatbox Ghost in the comments said smash means smash that thumbs up, that like button.
That is the funniest handle.
That is a great handle. But truthfully, I see the analytics. There is like 40% of you that are watching this maybe right now that are not subscribed to this channel.
No, that's not true right now because we had to change it.
That is true.
So
I'm sorry. You're all subscribed to this channel. Amazing. Still hit the like button. we had a chat issue, a couple live streams.
Chatbot infiltration.
Chatbot issue that Corey, one of our moderators in the chat, was. He's
it was
still,
like day one for Corey.
It was day one for Corey, and it was a rough day for him. So I owe him a drink when he comes in town for DVC Fed Summerfest. But yeah, so we had a chatbot issue. So all of our live chat for these lives, you do have to be subscribed because it just helps calm things down for our lovely moderators who do this out of the kindness of their heart. So yeah. Hit the like button and hit the notification thingy or whatever. Yeah, those things. So good. What else do we have? Any chance Spirit of Aloha dinner show luau makes a comeback at the Polynesian Tower? Troy says. Ooh, I don't know, Troy.
Spirit of Aloha.
I don't think we're seeing it come back.
I'm sad that we never went. We never saw it. But honestly, and I know there are people out there that really liked it. I have a friend that I taught with that went on their honeymoon, and so that was like their big thing. Like they went anytime they went to Disney, they went to that. But it didn't get quite the recognition and the following and the love that Hoop-Dee-Doo did. And I would put it on the same level as Hoop-Dee-Doo because it was similar priced, similar, you paid up front, it was dinner and a show. And so I don't think so. I don't think we'll ever see anything like that. I don't think that we have the space anymore now that they took it and put up a giant tower. Yeah.
Matthew said, what happens first, Fifth Gate or the new corn dog stand opens at the Boardwalk?
That corn dogs are close.
It's a realistic question because of how long we've been waiting for this. But that corn dog stand, it is ready to rock. So I do think that this summer we are going to see some corn dogs on the Boardwalk, and I am excited for that because we actually just recently put up a video about updates to the Boardwalk and also all of the Polynesian construction updates, and we talked both about that. And then someone else piggybacked off of that post. Jay Ware said, same with the Cake Bake Shop, or is that just a fantasy? The Cake Bake Shop has a sign now.
Two signs.
They have put up these like signs with gold letters.
Yeah, it's starting to morph.
It is happening. and I stand behind what I said in the video we created on that, which is if the Polynesian could get finished by December, then Cake Bake Shop can get finished by the end of 2024.
Because I looked at the menu today.
It does look good.
I'm super excited. Yeah. There's so many good looking desserts on that menu.
My biggest question though, and I think I raised this with Pauline at one point, and I was talking to her about it. Maybe it was someone else. I don't remember. But I was like, the real question with Cake Bake Shop is, will people go out of their way to the Boardwalk to eat there? Because that I think is the question to their success.
People go out of the way to eat at Trattoria and Flying Fish, and
so I think it was her. I apologize if it was one of my other people that I talked to, but they said they will because it'll become like the new Instagrammable cool thing.
It is totally Instagrammable. Yeah, so it's the inside is just that shabby chic. Lots of white and pink and stuff. It does look very pretty. Okay, there's one over here. Can you put that one up?
Which one?
Kim K.
Kim K. Hi, Paul and Amy. There we go.
Yeah.
This is really old, but...
Oh, I know, but that's from today. It's not that old.
Hi, Kim.
It's from the beginning. I just wanted to point her out. She posted that picture on DVC Fan at Epcot wearing one of our shirts. Pink DVC Fan shirt.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so I just thought that was cool. So if you ever wear a DVC Fan shirt in the park, post on DVC
Post a picture on the DVC Fan Facebook group. So thank you, Kim, for purchasing some merch.
You know how on Disney Files they like show pictures on one page of people in different places with the Disney Files magazine. See, we should do a
post of the month,
or something with like people with our DVC Fan merch on.
I like this. Okay, yeah, we can figure that out. That should be pretty doable.
Thank you, Kim. You gave me that idea.
Thank you, Kim. Yeah. I'm just going to go up through these ones a little bit. Let's see. Carrie, this is relevant. Do you think DVC is worth it for a Run Disney participant? I usually stay at All Stars or Pop, either going solo or either a friend for race weekends.
We are now Run Disney people, especially if you're going to be doing most of the season. So you're going to go to, Wine and Dine, and then you're going to do Marathon Weekend, maybe Princess and Spring. You want to do a couple nights here and there for each of them, as long as you are booking at that 11-month window, because that's going to be important, because there are a lot of Run Disney DVC people that book those rooms. But we've not had any issues, and actually we even switched rooms at the 7-month window a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
What we originally
for a marathon.
Yeah. So we do book a 2-bedroom with our friends Dan and Jeff. We kind of pull our points. They run as well. Well, Dan usually does medical, and Jeff usually runs with us. And originally their home resort is Riviera. They booked Riviera, but we wanted something with less points, so we ended up moving it. to Old Key West, but there was a couple options even at that time. But honestly, it's just, you're not paying hotel prices, which probably inflate a little during the races, I would imagine. I know, but if you do stay at All Stars, that's probably a good value. But if you want an elevated experience and you want to be at a deluxe resort, and some of them do like little fun things and stuff.
Yeah, I think most resorts on property have at least some sort of special run Disney stuff. Also keep in mind, and I think Elaine just put this in chat, make sure you buy where you want to stay when it comes to that, because a lot of the resorts do book up. So you do want that 7 to 11 month home resort window. Some people like staying at Grand Floridian or Polynesian or Bay Lake because they can get on the monorail and take the monorail to the races in the morning. A lot of people sometimes like to be closer to Epcot so that it's an easy transition after the race, walk through Epcot back to your room or something like that. The golden days of this were Disney Vacation Club actually used to sell, I think they were guaranteed race weeks.
So I
don't think they do it anymore.
I don't know. I have heard that if you ask, they might have some still available.
With the bib guarantee?
No, well, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So they used to do essentially these guaranteed weeks. So a guaranteed week is essentially picking a week on the calendar that you secure and you buy that week. And it is a point number that they essentially assign to you. But what you're guaranteeing is that you can book that week.
Well, okay, let me take that
advance.
Back. At one point, David, our friend David, had inquired and they were still selling them. But that was a couple years ago. Yeah. Since the beginning of Club Run Disney, they might have stopped.
I'm pretty sure that they have stopped. But with the guaranteed race weeks, you used to get a bib guarantee where basically they would reach out to you and say, hey, do you want a bib for this event? You still had to pay for it, but it allowed you to kind of secure that kind of bib requirement. So that was a pretty cool perk. Yeah. Bring that back, Disney Vacation Club. That would be a cool perk. And I do think that Disney Vacation Club, they've had a little bit of a more of a presence at the expo the past 2 years.
Yeah, they have.
And I think there's a huge missed opportunity to kind of piggyback off of the Disney Vacation Club community with Run Disney and kind of marry those two in some way, because I do think, again, to this question, I do think it is perfect for Run Disney participants that go year after year after year to obviously buy into Disney Vacation Club. But, what other perks and things could there be? I think were we going for a run? Yeah, we were running around Saratoga Springs on a recent trip. We did like a quick run around the resort one morning, and I said to myself, it would be cool to like have as part of one of the race weekends, like a DVC 5K that went through Saratoga or went through Old Key West, like that was exclusive for Disney Vacation Club members. That was like an exclusive perks. If this happens, I just want someone to point out that this show happened, because I do think this is an ingenious idea, but I would just like to fully take credit that it happened and hopefully get a free bib or something, who knows. But let's see, what other questions do we have come in? I feel like we've talked about Run Disney for quite some time here. So,
I know we missed a lot, so it's kind of hard to catch up. Is that a pirate hat?
We've had multiple people comment on my Pittsburgh Pirates hat. Yes, this was a birthday present from my mom, who might be watching. Thanks, Mom. We recently went up and spent some time with some family up in Wheeling, where we're originally from. So all of our family are back there. And then every time we go home, if it's during Pirates season, we go see the Pirates play. And it was an amazing game. They won like 11-2 or something bonkers.
And then there were fireworks.
And got a new Pirates hat.
My mom had a hot dog that had pierogies on it. I mean, what a time to be alive.
Shout out to the Berg. So
yeah.
Yes, it is. Thoughts on the 2-bedroom penthouse at the Poly? The balcony looks unique. Yes. So it is those top buildings we think that are going to be those top 2 or 3 floors that are going to make up those penthouses. I think by count, they're kind of estimating that between like 4 to 8 maybe total.
I don't
Um,
know. I see. To me, a penthouse is top floor. Period. End of statement. But I guess they could call like the top couple floors a
yeah. And I
penthouse.
think there's going to be some that are facing each direction too.
Right, and there's
So
probably some facing the golf course because that technically to them is a preferred view. So we're probably going to have preferred view and theme park view. Which I mean, what did you price out the theme park view when you
Oh, yeah.
called? Yeah, so we didn't want to take too much of the
Cast members'
time. We got some pricing for a few things that we were looking at, but we didn't want to just go through the list, like but. Student Elf will have a lot more of that information. They look nice. They're obviously not going to be as big as a Grand Villa. The views are going to be very pretty. I think the theme park views are going to be just out of this world. But
Yep.
yeah, they're going to be expensive, and they're going to be expensive for 2 bedrooms. They might even rival bungalow point costs.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Because of the view that you're getting. Well, at least the theme park ones.
And I think part of the decision making here was potentially looking at what is the average number of guests that are being put into like a 3-bedroom Grand Villa, and kind of saying, do we need that extra space, or can we kind of make this a little bit smaller, maybe up the amenities a little bit more? Hoping they do that based off of some of the art and the pictures we've gotten. It looks like maybe that's the case. That's definitely what they did out at the Disneyland Hotel Tower with their 3-bedroom Grand Villa. But to that, maybe we don't need to sleep up to 12 because people aren't actually putting 12 in these rooms. Maybe we can sleep down to 8, 9 guests, and
conserve some space, and still charge the points,
because the point charts are going up. So Vocal Jazz Fan, Grand Californian refurb guests on the dates.
Hopefully they started like 5 days ago.
Yeah, that
it needs it.
The only thing that we have ever seen on that was 6, 8, 9 months ago or more. There was photos that came out of them doing some tests of a Murphy bed.
Yeah, just Murphy beds with no
artwork yet. It was just basically kind of just fitting a Murphy bed into the space. It was
will these walls hold?
But so they're thinking about it. They obviously have a plan in place, but I don't know why they've maybe not moved on that.
I'm hoping it starts latest early next year.
Yeah.
So, and the same for Animal Kingdom villas. We know Bay Lake. We have a time frame for that, September this year to September next year. And then we also have tree houses at Saratoga. I'm hoping those aren't going to be refurbished by DVC Summerfest, but hopefully soon.
Kayomi said, how would you suggest choosing a use year for a contract? I would really call this a very personal question, because it does depend on, when you and your family travel, and kind of how that affects, when your points fall.
Use year matters if you are traveling at the same time every year
after year.
So someone earlier at the beginning of the live chat before we started asked, they said, I think they always were going to travel in December. And they said, what would be the best use year? And they got a couple comments. My answer to that is, if you are always going to be traveling in December and it's never going to start in the end of November, it's always going to be in December, then December is your best use year, because that's the beginning of your use year. If you have to cancel a trip, you've got that whole entire rest of that use year to use or bank those points. So I would pick December. But if you're going to sometimes start in November, or, maybe leave Thanksgiving, then you definitely don't want December, because then you got part of your trip you're going to cross use years. So then you want to back up to October as one of the best use years for you.
Yeah. But if it is, if it's something that, doesn't matter to you, I guess not that it doesn't matter to you, but if you are not traveling at the same time year after year.
If you're always moving around,
I wouldn't focus on use year as one of your buying.
I would find the best contract for you.
Instead. Find the best contract, find the best deal on a contract.
If you want the least confusing use year and none of that other stuff matters, I think February is the least confusing, because at least most of the months, 11 of those months, are in the correct year. Whereas December is the only month of a December use year that's in the actual year, right?
Exactly.
So like December 2024 is the only 2024 month that's actually in that use year. Everything else is 2025. So
We had Timothy ask any rumors on what might replace Big River Grill on the boardwalk. Not
The
a clue.
crickets.
Just absolute
Yeah.
crickets. And right now it's replaced by a food truck. So
Hopefully something that's, I would like casual. I don't know.
people are dying to have a sports bar of some sort back
Yeah.
on the boardwalk.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are still sad about the ESPN club closing. So that's a big one. Amanda said, would you recommend
I just want to wait.
Whoa.
You know what would be good on the boardwalk? Some place that serves good Philly cheesesteaks. Because the boardwalk
There's a lady who likes a sandwich.
Reminds me of like a lot of the Jersey boardwalks, Atlantic City, Wildwood, and they have good cheesesteaks on the boardwalk.
What was the one that you always were?
Well, I like Harry's Corner
at
Wildwood, which is
Wildwood
gone.
Boardwalk. It's now named something else, but
yeah,
that was Amy's favorite Philly cheesesteak,
they had the
and
best cheesesteaks.
There was nothing special about it. It was a boardwalk.
It was
cheesesteak.
so good. No, it was very special in every way.
Amanda said, "Would you recommend the Disney cruises?"
Yeah. I mean, that's a
Pretty
little bit of a loaded question.
We've taken several. We've loved every single one of them. We did the Disney Vacation Club cruise last year. We also took a cruise in December that I still have content to put out for.
Right. We did a Apollo review.
We did a Apollo review.
Castaway tour.
Castaway tour. So
ship tour.
We did some of it was like holiday based. So I'm kind of
we did the holiday stuff. We put that out already.
Okay.
Yeah. We were timely with that.
We were timely with that. But we do have other stuff that we put out. I think we did a room tour too.
We put that out.
Yeah.
We love Disney cruises. We love cruising in general, but I will be upfront that from a price perspective, we have become more Royal Caribbean cruisers.
Yeah.
And we've had several Royal Caribbean cruises booked recently.
We have 4 left this year. Yeah.
So, and we actually canceled the Disney Treasure and booked a Royal Caribbean cruise next year instead. And a lot of that was driven by value versus like pricing. $5,000 for a 7-night cruise with 2 new ports versus $3,000 for an 11-night cruise.
I will say
with 5 new ports. So.
I will say from a family perspective, you cannot beat Disney Cruise Line. The kids clubs being included, so many kids activities. And if you really want that Disney bubble, that Disney feel, if that's what you love about Disney, then you want to do Disney. But what I will say also is we recently did Icon of the Seas, which is Royal Caribbean's newest and biggest ship. And what we are hearing a lot of is that they have significantly done a better job with what they are doing in some of their kids clubs, and also
Adventure Ocean,
and also kind of how they made Surfside, which is an area of the ship kind of just dedicated to kids. So Royal Caribbean is slowly creeping up with that. I think we're going to see more of that. We've got Utopia of the Seas with Royal Caribbean coming online in just like 6 months or something.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to continue to see them kind of chip away at that. But nothing beats the full Disney experience. It's just it is going to cost you just like normal, some more money that way. So our decision making is that we can go visit more places. I think is our big one is that we can visit more destinations. We can explore more of the world with Royal Caribbean at a cheaper price than we can with
and get
Disney.
our Disney fix here.
Yeah. So what else do we have? Will the original Grand Floridian building be closer to the Polynesian Tower than the main Grand Floridian lobby?
Yes.
The
tower is right by the wedding pavilion, and the wedding pavilion is right by the original Villas building. So they'll be pretty close.
Yep. And they'll be walkable. So right now the walking path is closed between the resorts. They do have a temporary path that is like flip a coin as to whether or not it's open on a Wednesday, but it is going to be walkable. They will reconnect that path eventually, so it'll be easy to kind of walk through those. One of the big concerns kind of leading up to the Poly Tower is going to be kind of the monorail situation, though, because I think it is going to influx a lot of people onto the monorail.
They really need to implement a system where these
cabins
are for Grand Floridian. Getting on at Grand Floridian. These cabins are for getting on at the Polynesian. These are for, Bay Lake or whatever. I don't know how, but because Polynesian is it the last? No, the Grand Floridian's last, right? I guess
Grand Floridian is
I mean
the
it's
last
a constant loop,
in
but
terms of
most people are going to Magic Kingdom.
yeah.
So
So you hit all of like you basically for anyone going to Magic Kingdom, it would be Bay Lake is your first stop. Then you've got the TTC, then you've got Poly, and Grand Floridian is the last stop. So if you are trying to get to Grand Floridian, if you got legs, use them and walk because it's going to be quicker.
Do you ever think that they would just cut off the TTC since it has its own express monorail, and then keep the resort monorail just for resort guests?
It would make sense to do that.
I think that they need it because so many people were parking at the TTC.
Yeah,
but it would alleviate the issue of a whole new giant tower.
It would alleviate the issue too, and they've done so much infrastructure changes to the ferry boat line that
That's
you
true,
would
yeah.
think that they could run more
they
ferry
put
boats.
those stairs up, and I've never once seen them being used.
I've heard that so they built these new additional stairs that actually go to the top deck of the ferries. I've heard that they are used.
That it loads people a lot faster because you're loading both floors.
They
at
are
once.
used late at night after the fireworks.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, I've just never seen it.
But
used.
still, like, yeah, we just never see them consistently used. So, let's see.
Or just drop off at TTC, yeah, and don't let anyone come on.
Just something.
You are
they need to
bad
do
for getting on.
something with how
Right.
they.
I mean,
they
we'll
kinda
see
do
how it
that.
goes.
So, Icarus said, "When will there be a Universal IP themed cruise line?" I don't know. I think Universal kind of has to ask the question is whether or not they feel they've got enough IP, to
Yeah.
fully
Maybe a Harry Potter
sustain
cruise.
that. I would almost, at this point, I would almost see them maybe partnering with one of the bigger cruise lines to kind of see at first whether or not it's something that could be viable and successful. But
Which is what Disney did.
yeah,
at first.
but cruising has grown tremendously
Mhm.
coming out of the pandemic, and so it is a huge money opportunity, I think, if they would want to explore that. And so I think that could be a cool thing in the future. So keep putting your questions in the comments. I'm going to go back up through maybe some of one of the earlier ones from in the show, but we will also come back to some of the current ones.
Oh yeah, so just real quick, Brian said they
as
can't
well.
do that because that's how resort guests get to the Epcot monorail. So you can let the resort guest off, just don't let anyone else. Well,
So
I
they're
guess
going to tag you.
Oh,
when
but then you
get on.
couldn't get back to your monorail, right?
Yeah.
No, never mind. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work, but they need to figure out something.
Good point.
So, yeah, but let's see. DVC question. Andrew said, DVC question. Instead of selling a contract, is it possible to trade a contract? No. So unfortunately, these are deeded real estate interests. And so the only way to actually go through the process is to sell it. And by selling it, you also need.
So DVC Resale Market did do a trade-in type promotion,
Yep.
but you still have to understand that it has to go through right of first refusal. You're also, if you're trading in a Vero Beach contract and you're trying to buy a Grand Cal contract, there's obviously going to be a price discrepancy there. So at the end of the day, any kind of trade-in program is just really you selling and buying at the same time, basically.
Yep. And there's going to obviously be differences between the values of your contracts.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to obviously be commission probably associated with those. So we get this question a lot when it comes to like renting DVC points as well. We get people that come to us and say, hey, I'm an owner at this resort and I just want to stay at this resort. Can I trade with another owner? And it's like, well, your resort's not as valuable as that owner's resort. So it's never an equal trade as someone might think of it as being. So what other questions might we have here?
Let's see.
Clifford, is there an actual process for how long DVC leaves a room available before they use it to fill a waitlist request?
We have no idea. The waitlist system is such a mystery. And here's why, or what we have observed. So you can set a waitlist. We have set waitlists before. And then we've stocked the system. So check the system on our own. And we found things open that we had waitlisted. Like exactly. So we grabbed it on our own. But we have also released stays, canceled reservations, expecting them to pop back up, and coordinated, with people in the DVC fan canceled reservations group, and those have never come back up. It's like they automatically got grabbed for a wait list. So I think there are certain times that the wait list scrape the systems maybe, and you could be caught in between it doing it. You'd be caught, when it doesn't happen for another however long. So you just don't know. And so we actually had a weird thing happen to us early on, and I'm going to try to get it right. I don't know if you remember, but we had a Saratoga wait list, and I saw it available, and I saw that the wait list hadn't come through, and I went to grab it, and all of our points were gone. And I was like, where did they go? So I called, and they said, well, your wait list came through. So the wait list came through, and they took the points, but they didn't really finish out the reservation yet. So it didn't look like it was booked on our end. So I think there is a manual process there somewhere where the member services has to manually finish it out. Well, and you've had member service agents call you and ask you, about questions about finishing out your wait list.
Yeah, like what points did you want me to use?
Right.
Or, we have to take a couple additional points. Where do you want those to come from?
Yeah.
But I feel like those should be easy questions that they should automate too. But this also goes to the disclaimer that they always give you. Like if you're making some sort of change with a reservation, they're like, now it's possible that in us making this change in the couple seconds of me clicking this button and then clicking this button, that it goes away. And are you willing to take that risk? Yes. I've never really heard of cases where it happens, but this just kind of proves that there is this like in between gap period where it's like they got to take the points and then they got to take the room and they got to marry the two together. So something like that.
Yeah.
We had someone earlier on ask us, is availability really a problem at the 11-month window, especially in the summer months?
No, I don't think so. It is resort specific.
Yeah. Beach Club, Grand Cal, those are always going to kind of be fighting it.
It could be just more surrounding, depending on we're talking Labor Day weekend in the summer. We're talking 4th of July. You know what I mean? It's just dependent on that. Normally, if you book at 11 months, you're usually going to get what you want. There are some room categories, obviously, that are a challenge. Concierge at Animal Kingdom Villa, the value rooms there. Harbor Creek Studios can be hard, but we don't really ever have problems.
No. Yeah, we've never.
And honestly,
never really
even when we book last minute, which we do most of the time now, if we look and continually check the system, we get what we want. You know what I mean? So we wanted Vero Beach in August, and there was nothing, and then we found something. It wasn't exactly what we want, but it got us there, and then we found exactly what we wanted just by continuing to look.
D McGee said, what moderate resort do you see DVC converting first? Well, I feel like this is a trick question because technically the answer now is that Fort Wilderness Cabins were the first one, and no one picked that one. No one wanted that one. But if we're counting true moderates, I think based off of popularity, the answer goes to Port Orleans. It seems to be the unanimous opinion of most of the community. Amy and I, though, disagree with all of you, and we want Coronado Springs.
Right. And we were just there, and that resort is gorgeous in every way.
Yep. It would be perfect for DVC. It would be perfect to add the Skyliner to and do an extension of that. They could easily just build another tower that mimics what they're doing.
There's so much dining over there. We were just talking about this. They have Toledo. They have that Dahlia Lounge. They have Cafe Rick's. They have Rick's Sports Bar. They have the what is it? The food court, the Maya Grill, the Three Bridges.
We met a wonderful couple that watches the show at Coronado when we were there the other day, and they said to us one of their best meals of that trip was Maya Grill.
Yeah,
and
they could not stop talking about how good it was, and I really want to eat there.
Yeah,
we were supposed to go there on my birthday last year, but then we booked a Halloween party in August and roasted instead.
Yeah, newsflash. I
didn't get tacos.
Don't think we're going to cover the Halloween party in August this year.
No, it was rough.
I really want to do it like closer to the Halloween
I
season.
mean, your
and
chocolate's melting everywhere.
you're gonna have like 400 other vloggers that you're gonna watch that
No.
actually melt and do it in August anyhow. And I feel like even at that point, most people have planned their trips. So we're just gonna do it in October, and we're gonna have fun and share it with you then. And we're gonna try our best to get Derek DeBoer to go,
Oh yeah,
because that would be
in
hilarious.
costume.
In costume, that would be
I
amazing.
think he would make a good
Wow.
Frankenstein.
You tell him.
Well, it's Frankenstein's monster, I guess.
Someone go
Just
to
because he's tall.
Yeah. Derek currently Monday nights is his late shift over at DVC Resale Market. So if you want to show some love to Derek, he's probably over on chat just waiting to sell you a Disney Vacation Club contract. So, but don't tell him that I sent you.
Okay, I want to answer this question. Andrew Tech.
Yeah. Do you have any technology recommendations to help stock a reservation?
This is not a technology reservation. Oh my goodness, recommendation. Well, I mean, I don't think technology matters. If you got service, I mean, I do it on my phone. I do it on my computer. I do it on my phone more than anything because it's easy. It's right there. Yeah. But my recommendation is, if you really want something, obviously don't become obsessed with it that you're not enjoying your day. But if you've got spare time, if you're, most of you, let's not lie. I know this is YouTube and it's live.
Yeah.
Be careful what I say, but if you're sitting on the toilet, you're probably looking at your phone. Like most of us do it. So there you go. You got time to stock the system.
So would you say the technology in that recommendation is a toilet?
The toilet, yeah. Use that time wisely.
Okay, there you go.
Killing two birds with one stone.
Yeah, if you've been enjoying the Amy's Tips of the Week series, we're going to make sure that's
not one of them.
Not one of them yet, but hopefully becomes one in the future. But, Mr. Poe said, Villas at Destino Tower. I
mean,
like
they
could
could take part of the tower. They could.
You guys got us started on this subject.
Okay, yeah. And while we're on it, because one of the whole arguments against it is that it's a convention resort. They're never going to take a convention resort and yada yada yada. Listen, it is 2024. Conventions aren't really happening as much as they used to. Don't you think? I think that I
would say that until we were at the JW Marriott, and all of Alabama was at the JW Marriott.
But that
this weekend.
wasn't a convention. That was a
retreat.
That was like they had given them basically a trip, but they were all doing it together. But really, like a lot of companies are finding that they can do these things, via Zoom, online. They can save money, and so I think that the whole convention thing is not as strong of I could be wrong. Let me know if you've gone to a convention, or let me know if your conventions have been like X-nayed. But so we've got space for DVC now because of the internet.
You're on a roll between toilets and that. I don't even know where to go from here. All right, we'll take some questions probably for like another 15, 20 minutes here, and then we'll kind of wrap things up for the night. Let's see. There was one I just saw here. Amanda said, if you want to buy additional direct points, do you have to use the same vacation club guide?
I don't know how that works.
I don't know if they will specifically require you to. You may have to kind of escalate it if you would want to switch guides. Normally you are attached to a guide until that guide leaves Disney Vacation Club. And typically if they do leave Disney Vacation Club, you are then just randomly assigned a new guide. But if you do have strong feelings, I would share that with, a Disney Vacation Club representative and let them know that you would really prefer to move to a different guide for one reason or another. And I don't see why they would not allow that. I think the guide system is a little bit antiquated and kind of an older way of thinking these days. And I think Disney Vacation Club even acknowledges that, if you go online and kind of walk through a sales process that way, you can potentially encounter multiple people throughout the journey. And I think that that's kind of where they need to take the product a little bit because, it's in today's day of age, you have a much more educated buyer coming to you. So it's not, just make sure that the people are there to answer the questions when they need the questions answered. And that's going to be what really gets the sale done. So
I want to answer for anniversary trip, which Boardwalk view is better, Boardwalk or Pool Garden? I say Boardwalk view all the way. So pool garden view is basically anything that's overlooking either the pool or grass. Like, let's be honest, Disney
Yep.
garden is just grass.
Grass.
Now there are really excellent pool garden views that overlook Village Green, but those are pretty highly requested, and it's very rare that you get them. So you could be looking at, a tree, you could be looking at the pool. I think the boardwalk views, they're beautiful. You possibly can see Epcot depending on which end you're on. You can hear the music on the boardwalk. The lights come on. Some people say it gets a little loud at night, but I've never felt that the boardwalk's been that loud. I feel like it's blocked out.
Yeah, that's the only disclaimer that I would kind of give is, exactly what you said. Some people, I know even Jeff and Amy, when they were staying with us in the Grand Villa, mentioned that it was a little bit louder. We sleep with a white noise app on,
That's true.
That typically drowns out any noise that we might hear. But also half of the noise is normally like the laid back jazz music from the
that
boardwalk,
does turn off at a certain time.
It does, yes, but it could also just put me to sleep right away. So very, very relaxing that way. Let's see what else we've got in terms of questions. AJ said, tuning in late, so you may have already talked this, but what are your thoughts, expectations for the Bay Lake Tower refurb? Do we think it's going to be more like Boardwalk Villas or more characters in the rooms?
I just hope it's not The Incredibles.
Well,
I'm not a fan.
If they pick anything, it's going to be The Incredibles.
I'm not a fan.
So
Wally would be cute.
Wally would be cute, but they'll never do it.
So what we noticed, I don't think the DVC refurbs in general are going to go like full out characters. We've not seen that happen. And even with, when you look at the Polynesian Hotel versus what they're doing with the Island Tower, they both have Moana theme, but the Island Tower is a lot more subtle. You're not seeing like Moana, and that you're just seeing, like the manta ray, and what I mean? It's just subtle that if you didn't know any better, you could walk into that room and just think it was pretty Hawaiian, theming.
And most of the
Polynesian, I guess it's more than just Hawaii.
To the Incredibles point, if they wanted to do that, it could be successful. There's been a lot of talk just coming out about the Inside Out 2 just recently came out, and it's now the second best performing, animated feature film of all time. First was Incredibles 2. So Incredibles is still extremely popular. But the other thing that we see with a lot of Disney Vacation Club properties is they kind of like to use the classic Disney characters. Or to, like what you said, just kind of, it's a more subtle touch to the art. So I do think we see some characters injected into that, because that is something that at the time Bay Lake Tower was originally built, that really wasn't part of what they did in a Disney Vacation Club room.
And I feel like with a lot of DVC, they've more stuck with the main like 5 characters. Boardwalk has Mickey and Minnie and Donald and Daisy, and I think Goofy, right, and Max are sleeping under the, when you pull the Murphy bed down. So and before we had some Mickey type stuff at Bay Lake, so I think they might go that route.
Yep. Lauren said Mary Blair inspired artwork would also be awesome, like the contemporary lobby. So maybe just some throwbacks to original contemporary. That would be super cool. And I think that, Disney Vacation Club members, they are your biggest Disney affinity group. So, they're the people that would respect that the most and kind of pick up on that kind of stuff. So Lisa said Wally makes sense. Maybe it'll happen. Yeah. Maybe they'll surprise me.
Wally would be amazing.
They won't do it. It
would be so cute.
That would make me buy another.
You would buy Bay Lake Tower.
I would buy Bay Lake Tower.
We'd have to sell something.
Yep. It would be the only room I'd ever stay in ever again. So let's see. We asked that. Andrew, question. Have you noticed that the non-DVC Disney channels don't understand how DVC works when they talk about DVC?
I believe that. Yeah, 100%.
It's some people don't like to do research before they talk, and that's educate yourself, then educate your audience is kind of and we are educators. So look at that.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, we're educators. I have there's a degree right there that says
That's true.
I have a I have an education degree. Jack said, "Has the economic downturn affected DVC sales at all?" Jack, I would say it's would say it's a combination of things. Economic downturn is one of them. I think when you look at just coming out of, we've kind of backed off from the revenge travel season, so that's obviously affected sales. I think that Disney Vacation Club in general has struggled to kind of find their groove again coming out of the pandemic in terms of how to sell. They tried to stay with like that digital hands-off approach for way too long. And so we recently saw kind of the general DVC tours come back, and they're kind of saying, hey, we need to kind of go back to how we used to do these things. We saw them offer, $200 gift cards for people to go on a DVC tour. So they're kind of they're trying to get more creative again and come back, but I don't necessarily know that economics have to deal with it all that much. DVC has never, I think, historically fully fallen in line with what the general economic trend is. But the other thing that I would say is that this year we are seeing, travel tendencies typically change, and you can kind of align that with economic trends. You can kind of align that with the fact that it is an election year, and some people get a little bit tighter with their wallet during that just because of uncertainties surrounding what might happen. So all of that being said, I think that all has played into kind of Disney Vacation Club and just kind of sales kind of lagging with direct for a little bit.
All right. Yeah, that topic was boring to me.
Thank you. Yeah, I can tell you were elsewhere.
If we're gonna wrap up, I'm gonna wrap up on a fun topic.
We can wrap up. Yeah, I'm done answering questions.
I can never say this YouTube handle.
Okay, do you want me to read it?
K-addict? I don't know. Oh, no, I can't see it. It just says that, I can't even find it anymore. Oh, nope, I lost it when you moved it. Anyway, it said that she was going to Epcot, and it was a non-festival time. So what food recommendations, that are normally always there, would you recommend? Are you waiting for me to answer?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think on my answer for a second.
Oh, okay.
It feels like you've been prepared for this question.
No, I have to think about it. So just starting with quick service at Epcot, things that I think are missed that are very, very good. Sunshine Seasons. I love Sunshine Seasons. They have they always have a really good sandwich. Sometimes it changes a little bit. I think right now it's like a roast beef on a Kaiser. It's very good. You can get it with pasta salad. They actually use
sandwich
cucumbers from Living with the Land in vegetables in their pasta salad. You don't have to jump off the boat and get them. They're right there in your pasta salad.
Please don't jump off the boat.
And they have little specials sometimes. So like one whole month they had the birria tacos where you dipped them in the consomme, and I don't know, I really like Sunshine Seasons, and there's always plenty of seating. It's nice and cool in there. I think that's great. I like Sunshine Seasons better than Connections. Is it Connections Cafe? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which Connections is fine, but Sunshine Seasons. In World Showcase, still quick service, talking about quick service, the French patisserie over in France Pavilion has excellent, I know, sandwiches. They do. Croissant, the ham and cheese croissant with the bechamel, and this is so good. It's been so long since we've had that. I feel like I'm missing a couple things that I'd like that I want to mention.
One of my popular go-tos would be the margarita stand that is outside in Mexico.
Yeah.
And they have some good
That's
tacos.
Chose de Margarita.
I believe so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they have some good taco options. They have guacamole out there, or at least they used to. So I always felt that their snacks and stuff were far superior than what you could get at any of the other restaurants that were there in the Mexico Pavilion. So I always kind of enjoyed that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. I used to really love the Mexican restaurant, especially La Hacienda. They've really pared down their menu lately. There is another, if you don't mind leaving the park and walking out of International Gateway, you could walk over to Boardwalk and Beach Club, walk a little further. to the Swan and Dolphin and the newer, I guess it's a year old now, Rosa de Mexicana. I think that restaurant is great. It's obviously a Mexican restaurant. There's lots of good stuff over there too, and obviously, you've got good stuff at Boardwalk. You've got.
I'll stay in the park and say Yorkshire Fish. I have always.
Oh yeah, I haven't had that forever.
I have an emotional attachment to that because like that was like one of our first Disney trips ever. I vividly remember getting fish and chips and going over to the area where they have like live music in the UK area and listening to like a Beatles cover band. So like that's like one of those like childhood Disney memories. But I've always had good, if you like fish and chips, they've got amazing fish and chips there. So I think it's just it gives you an opportunity to almost kind of taste your way around the world in a non-festival setting. And there is plenty of options there. Go with a friend or two and split things at all of these pavilions. And it's almost just like go
to the quick service, go to the little snack stands, go to the bubble tea cart. And what's really good is that shaved ice in Japan. Mm-hmm. They put the cream over the same kind of stuff at Alani. And
the gelato area,
the gelato, the ice cream. Oh, that's
Italy,
in Italy. The ice cream in France,
the pizza window.
I was just gonna say that the pizza window, if it's open,
it's been better. It's been better about being open.
Next to Via Napoli, which also I like Via Napoli too.
Much better than the Boardwalk pizza window. I wasn't sold on the Boardwalk pizza window. So but. All right. Well, now I'm hungry again, and we already had dinner, so I'm not quite sure what we're gonna do now at 9:35 at night. But I think that's gonna wrap up our live Q&A and kind of our news thing. If you did tune in late or something, we did talk about a couple news items earlier in the show, so be sure to go back, rewind, and watch all of that.
Someone said Amy loves her sandwiches, and then someone else said Paul finishes all of Amy's sandwiches. I don't share my sandwiches with Paul, but he gets to have a bite if he doesn't have the same one, but.
Amy always, whenever we go out to eat, Amy always will go, "What do you want?" And that is a trigger basically for her not being able to decide between two items and hoping that I am wanting the other item so that we can then share.
Sharing is caring, guys.
Yes. At least you get to try more things that way. I used to have a problem with it, but now I'm like, let's share. But yeah, so that'll do it for kind of our live Q&A. We will definitely be doing more of these in the near future. Next week, we will be back to your regular DVC show programming with the whole panel and all of our fun shenanigans. Our next live stream will probably be surrounding the grand opening for the Fort Wilderness Cabins. So make sure that you tune in for that. That is just a few weeks away. And so, yeah, we're excited to share all of that with you. But as always, if you are watching this show after the fact and you are not already subscribed to this channel, please subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, show us some love so that YouTube algorithm does all of its fun things. But that'll do it for this episode of the DVC show. We hope you guys enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight, especially on a Monday. I'd be asleep by now if I were
go back to your Bridgerton now, and we will see you all next Monday.